Hello there. So you just got your first Tacoma and you're looking to build it up into a rig like this. Well, I was there at 1.2, so in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how I prioritize my builds, all while saving money and not breaking the bank. My issue today with modern overland rigs is that it always seems to be, at least in Southern California, it always seems to be an issue of who can throw the most money into their rigs. I built this truck for utility, not for capability, and because of that, I get a truck that gets me everywhere I need to go whilst not spending a whole lot of money and retaining most of its factory reliability. And with that first comes tires. The stock Tacoma is right off the factory a really versatile truck, and the stock tire size is roughly 30 inches, I believe. That size in itself gives you decent clearance over most obstacles. Just like my buddy Will here in his completely stock second gen Tacoma, going over most of these rocks with no issues. And there you go. While stock tire size is good, I do recommend replacing them with something with a little bit more aggressive tread, especially if you're running a two-wheel drive truck. Right off the bat, I upgraded my truck to 31.5-inch Falcon Wild Peak tires, which in the end, no issues whatsoever. My regret though is when those 31.5-inch tires wore out, I upgraded to these, which are going to be just under 33-inch. Do they look great? Yes. Was it worth it? Probably not. Due to the larger size in the tires, my gas mileage has dropped considerably. I had to complete what's called the cab mount chop to avoid the tires from contacting the frame. And they're ridiculously expensive, especially now with COVID. Just the replacement is almost $400. So overall, with this jump up in size, yes, my car is more capable now, but have I ever done a trail where I've needed tires this big? No. So moral of the story is, if I was to get another truck, or for my next build, I'm sticking the 31.5-inch tires max. Save your money and the hassle. Next step is going to be lift. I did not go with anything high performance like Kings or Fox with, you know, the bypass valve that mounts in the wheel well here. I ended up going with a 2-inch Bilstein 5100 lift with a SPC light action control arm. So that gave me a 2-inch lift to get my undercarriage a little bit higher off the ground. I went with a 2-inch because when you go with really anything bigger than that, you're getting into a whole new realm of driveline and CV axle issues, specifically with U-joints. Already with this lift, I had to install what's called a clamshell bushing right in here, which is the drive side CV axle kind of mounting area to avoid additional wear because of the change in angle, as well as a driveline drop shackle kit, which is to alleviate pressure on the U-joints. Before I got this Tacoma, I had a Jeep with a 3-inch lift, and in the 2 years of owning that Jeep, I had to replace the U-joints twice on the driveline. Maybe because it's a Jeep, I don't know. So yeah, if you're looking into the lift now, you don't need anything high performance, especially if you're just doing slow-moving overland. On to some smaller things, we have lights. So there's a lot of manufacturers of off-road lights out there. Some of them in particular, Baja Designs, are really expensive. I got two of these aux beams on Amazon for 30 bucks. Meanwhile, you can get the same style for almost $200 a piece from some of these other manufacturers. And while I have seen these $200 lights in action, yes, they look a little bit nicer, they're a little bit brighter. Do you really need them? Probably not. All of these light bars are decently priced and give me more light than I've ever needed, all of which are wired up to this little gang panel here. Link in the description. Another small thing are going to be Rotopax gas cans. These run almost 150 bucks a pop for the can and the locking mount. I like how they mount and how they look, but they only hold 2 gallons, and realistically, I never use them. Next time, I'm just going to get like a $20 5-gallon jerry can, which holds more gas, and there you go. So that covers my major gripes. My next step in the build process was undercarriage armor. RCI makes an amazing skid plate, but overall I would avoid getting the full undercarriage armor because realistically, if you hit your skid plate on the front, you probably shouldn't keep going along that same route to hit everything else that would be covered underneath.
Hold up, I fucked up.
And obviously, I don't have any armored bumpers on the front or the rear. Realistically, this is my daily driver, and I just wanted an overland rig that just gets me where I need to go. So I'm not going to be going through any gnarly rock gardens that would warrant that much armor. In the end, I'm just saving the money, the weight, and the gas savings. Although a hitch-mounted winch would be kind of nice. So I ran a Tepui Kukanam tent for just over a year before going to this iCamper, which realistically, the only reason I went to this iCamper is because it opens and closes much faster. And I'm still trying to financially recover from getting this one. Overall, if you're in the market for a rooftop tent, I would recommend going with something like a Tepui, a rigged, I believe, or a CVT. I would avoid some of the more name brand ones like smittybuilt, because the quality on that's going to be kind of iffy. And if you go with, you know, a brand that is dedicated to rooftop tents, you're going to get much higher quality and warranty support. Overall, in my next build, I'm probably going to go with a camper shell build. Overall, that's going to finish up the video for today, guys. So just as a recap, I've had this rig for 3 years. I've done a lot of different trails all throughout California, Highway 395 in Arizona, and I've never had a single issue with clearance or capability. And that's without any major expensive mods or anything crazy. So if you guys are getting your first Overland rig and you're starting to build it up, I recommend looking at some of the things I discussed in this video and avoiding some of the purchases that really are not needed, especially if you're just building up your truck to be a camper rig, not a rock crawler. So that's going to wrap it up for today. Hopefully your guys' build go a little bit better than mine and you don't make any regretful purchases like I did. But other than that, till next time.